Hey guys, this is Erik, owner of Farpoint Farms, and since once again it looks like spring has come right in the middle of winter, I figured it was a good opportunity for me to get the mowers out, tractors out, and do some work on them. So today we're going to be doing something that you're likely to come across on your riding mower or your yard tractor or your garden tractor, and that is a symptom. You're mowing your lawn and you notice that you have one blade that seems to be cutting a lot lower than the other, or perhaps your blade is hitting the deck. That's caused by a failing spindle. A lot of times what happens, these spindles which sit here, your pulley sits on top of this, these tabs will break and that allows the spindle to cock, and now your blade is cutting at an angle. It's not cutting straight across. So this is actually a very common problem and a very simple fix. But we're going to go through fixing it today because I need to replace one on this mower right here. The first thing you want to do is to clean out the area around your mowing deck. You want to get all the grass and dust and debris and stuff out of there. If if it was summertime, I'd probably get the garden hose out and wash all this off. But it's winter, so I'm going to use a blower. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use my little electric blower. Let me grab that real quick. Okay, this is just a Ryobi 18-volt electric blower. Perfect for a job like this. Great little tool. Maybe I'll do a review on this someday. Anyway, the reason you want to do that is you want a nice clean surface so you can work on. You're going to have to find some nuts and bolts. Chances are there's going to be some rust involved. We want to make sure everything's nice and clean. So now we've taken care of that. The next thing we're going to want to do is jack up the front of the mower. So let me go grab a jack and I will do just that. All right. Now when jacking this baby up, make sure that you're not jacking onto the muffler or someplace important. You want to make sure you get onto the frame. And this one has a nice axle frame that goes across the front here. I'm going to raise it up by that. If you don't have access to a jack, you can do this without it. But it does make the job quite a bit easier. So I do recommend it if you can get your hands on one. Well, while you've got this up in the air, it's a good idea to go ahead and lubricate all your pivot points and make sure your belts are in good condition. But like I said, today we're focusing on replacing a spindle. So the next step, if your mower has it, is you've got these covers, plastic covers that protect the spindles. You're going to have to remove those. This one is a Torx bit. It might be a Phillips head or it may not have it at all. My Craftsman YT3000 over there, it didn't come with them. It's just exposed. So you can skip to the next step. But for right now, let me grab some tools and I'll go ahead and start taking this off. Okay, got my Torx T20 here. Like I said, this could be a Phillips, could be a bolt pattern, or it could be gone altogether. But the end result is we got to get this off. And don't be surprised if in the process of removing these, the bolts break. If they do, it's acceptable to run the tractor without these covers on. Okay, so I've got the 3 bolts that are off, and now we've exposed the spindle. I'll grab it from underneath and you can see how badly broken we're talking about. That's pretty bad. Looks like one's completely broken off and the other ones aren't far behind. So the next step we're going to have here is to remove the belt, and you just kind of snake that off from around it. There you go, and we'll just set that off to the side. We don't want to lose that. So the next thing we're going to have to do is we've got to get this nut here off, and that's a bit tricky. What you're going to have to do is, with your hand underneath here, you're going to have to grasp the blade. Get a rag, or you could even maybe use a piece of 2x4 to prop against it in order to break that loose. I believe it's 7/8, but I'll go grab that and we'll find it. Okay, so got the 7/8 bolts up top. Now, like I said, a rag, especially if your blades are sharp, find your grab point, and then you're going to be breaking this thing loose. Okay. Alright. And then just continue to work it off until it starts to loosen up here. There we go. Okay. Like so. That's probably the hardest part of the job. Then you're going to remove the pulley itself. Okay, make sure you remember which way that goes. Lay that on there. Now this, now you can see, it's pretty bad. So next, this will be 12, 13s, or 14s, and there should be 3 bolts holding this thing up. Once that happens, this whole spindle will drop right out of the bottom. We'll go inside to the workbench, separate the blade from the spindle, and we're ready to reinstall it with our new setup. Spindles are available on Amazon or eBay, and they shouldn't run you more than $20 or so, and that's for a nice new one. Got a new bottom piece on there, new nut for the top. That was 20 bucks with shipping on Amazon, I think, and already pre-sealed. Some of these are greasable. This one's not. This is a sealed unit. So one more time, I got to go get a tool, and then, like I said, we'll have this thing on the ground. Got some tools. I'm going to go ahead and remove these bolts. If you need leverage, you might have to use a pry bar if things are rusty. Same goes with this top piece. Now, if you have access to a impact gun, by all means, you can use that, and that certainly will speed up the process. But I'm trying to show how you can do this without those tools, and it certainly is possible. If you don't have a breaker bar or an extension, you can always use a pipe laying around. Okay, see, that one broke off, but that's okay because we're not reusing this. If it breaks off when you're going back together, that's a problem. Yep, that one broke off too. Welcome to the Rust Belt. Now this piece you want to hang on to. We're going to remember that that goes there. Well, that's it. It's out. As you can see, not just one, but 2 of them were broken off. So that was kind of dangerous. If that broke completely off, you could have a pretty serious problem. That blade could come flying out of there, and we don't want that. So, wow, she's rough. You do want to hang on to all these pieces because this controls the height of the spindle, and we don't want that to get messed up. So I'm going to set that aside. I got this loose finally and broke the 3rd one off too, so we were 10 out of 10. That's the last piece that it was it's still attached. Some models may have a bracket underneath. Make sure you reinstall it if it does. Some will come with this, some will not. Okay, so that's just something to be aware of. This one does, obviously. Okay, so in order to take this off, we want to make sure we keep that. In fact, we'll put that on top of this. Oh, what do you know? This one came with a new one. So we don't need that for this model, but sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If it didn't come with a nut and a washer, make sure to add that. And we'll just set that aside. Okay, so the next thing to do is just to separate the blade. And this blade's pretty rough, so I'm going to sharpen it while I have it off. But I believe that is a 15 or a 16. So once again, I have to go get... Okay, so same process. If you're on pavement or concrete, or if you want to put this on a workbench, it's a lot easier. But 14 millimeter. And I'm going to hold the 2 together. And there we go. And then you just unscrew it. Until it's all the way off. I'll pay attention to which side went towards the spindle and which side went away from the spindle. Also, again, if your new spindle doesn't come with these nuts, you'll have to hang on to this stuff. Okay, so that's it. We're done with this, and looks like it got plenty of use out of it. So we're ready to toss that, and that, and that, and that, and that. And by God, we're ready to start reassembling. So we've got our new spindle here. Again, reinstall your splines in the direction that it came off. So we're going to put that on there. And remember the washer, you can also retighten this on the bottom of this one. Sometimes it'll be on the top. We'll get it tight for now. And then just like before, if it needs more, you can always go back and finish it up while holding the gear below. you don't want this coming loose either, so make sure it's nice and snug. Okay. Right now we have 3 self-tapping bolts here. I'm going to take those out. Again, this one has the cover. You want to make sure that gets reinstalled. Okay, so we'll slide that in like so. And then we're going to come up underneath here and just get all of them started. You don't have to tighten them all the way down right yet. I'm hoping you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't have my assistant here today, so it's a little hard to get this done. And then we'll go ahead and tighten them all up. Okay, so I've gotten all 3 bolts fairly snug, and I've made my final adjustments, make sure my little plates here are in the location they're supposed to be. And I'll just go ahead and finishing tightening them down. Okay, now it's nice and snug. So where are we now? Oh, we're almost done. You've got your spindle. Make sure you remember which direction it went in. Again, reinstall your spline in the direction that it came off. And remember, the washer was on the bottom of this one. Sometimes it'll be on the top. And then just like before, we're going to tighten it up while holding the gear below. Okay, just tighten that down like so. And we're ready to put the belt back on. Make sure it hasn't fallen off anywhere else. Simple enough. Okay. And because I actually didn't break the cover coming apart, well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it. Then add a little bit of safety. Okay, and tighten them all down the rest of the way. So that's it. You finish tightening up your bolts. We'll drop this thing back on the ground, and then we're ready to go mowing. Of course, it is the middle of winter. It doesn't look like it, but it is. So we won't be mowing anytime soon. But now I'm one up. I'm ready for spring. Ready to start mowing again. This is a really common failure, and you can take it to a repair place, probably charge you $100 to $150 to do what you and I just did in about, what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Tool-wise, you know, T25 Torx for this, 1/2 inch, 7/8, and a 14 underneath. You know, maybe a little different for your mower, depending on the make and model, but they're all quite similar. Your basic homeowner's tool set, you should be able to do this. Of course, if you have air gun, you can knock this out in about 10 minutes. But that's it. While you have the blade off, it's a good idea to go ahead and sharpen them. That's another video. I'll take the blades off here, and we'll sharpen it in the spring, most likely. So, I'm Erik, owner of Farpoint Farms, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got some useful information out of it. And if you did, you can thank me by subscribing and letting me know what else you'd like to see me take care of on mowers. In the spring, we'll be doing oil changes, tune-ups, that kind of stuff, as well as routine maintenance, tire changes, and some of the tips and tricks you can do to your mower to give it a little more power and get it to last as long as it should. So, that's it. Take care.